It was a sort of a journey of the unknown.
I was seeing live snakes for the first time. Snakes, monkeys, scorpions.
My own challenge was waking up early to bath cold water.
There was no water. We had to go inside the bush, which is a brook.
There was one corridor joining us together. Then we would meet there, box ourselves and make a lot of noise. We were not sleeping.
We coped because we are home out of home. So if we don't cope, what will we do?
"50 years ago, in the bustling town of Ikorodu, a beacon of hope was ignited. Government College Ikorodu, a testament to Lagos State's commitment to education, opened its doors to a new generation of learners. Founded on the 21st day of September 1974, during the military administration of Governor Mobolaji Johnson, with Chief Adeniran Ogunsoya as his commissioner for education, Government College Ikorodu was one of the 5 pilot model secondary schools established across Lagos State. The initiative was aimed at setting new standards for secondary education in Nigeria, rivaling the prestigious federal government colleges.
So the idea is to create a difference, to serve as a model school,
To prototype how a secondary school, an ideal secondary school should be.
There was the establishment of the schools, Government College Agege, mainly for girls. We have Government College Lagos at Eric Moore. We have Government College Ojo, which later metamorphosed into LASU of today. And we also have Government College K2 Ekpe and our Government College Ikorodu.
So I got admitted. I did not apply for it. I applied for admission to Methodist Girls High School. But when the result came out, it was my father that saw my name on the newspaper. He was surprised. My daughter that that wrote exam at Methodist Girls, how did she go? Her name come out at. So we got to know that it was a new school. And my father was very happy that I was able to secure admission to a school that has a boarding facility and a new school. So that's how I found myself in Government College Ikorodu.
The first day we had even the commissioner, the Lagos State Commissioner for Education, Mr. Adeniran Ogunsoya. I know we were calling him Commissioner Olorun Kiki then because the man was looks chubby, and so we gave him a nickname, and he was with us at that time.
The early days of the school were marked by challenges, but the spirit of resilience prevailed. Inadequate social amenities, uncompleted structures, and limited resources did not deter the students and the teachers from pursuing their academic goals.
Our first day was we didn't have it in our permanent site. We had it at a school then, I don't know.
Teachers College, Ikosi. We were together with Government College K2 at the Teachers College at Ikosi in Ikorodu, Agbowa Kosi in Ikorodu. So that was where the two schools and their sets we were all together as one for one full year.
We had a temporary site at Agbowa Road. The permanent site now was not ready because it was still largely uncompleted. Most of the buildings were under construction. And the temporary site was, bushy. The environment was very bushy with a narrow path leading to the site. We had a Tailewa garage. Whenever you are coming from anywhere, that garage is where you run into, and from there you take a taxi to our temporary site. Like I said, it was a narrow path from Italewa to the site, very narrow, untarred, and very bushy. all around. So that is talking about the environment in the early days of the temporary site.
It was just two major buildings. We had the gates. Outside the gate, you have the field. Then on the left, you have the road. Towards the road, when you cross the road, you have Mama Sune and Baba Sune. We always visit them to buy granite and bread. We call it 5-5. It's 5 kobo. 5 kobo granite, 5 kobo bread. It was fun. It was fun those days.
When I got to the school, we had the register. As you come, you write down your name. I was number 30 to enter the school compound. So my number is 30. If you go to the school, my name is still number 30, in number 30 of that list. So when we all got there with our briefcases, as we were writing down our names, we were being directed to the hostel. So all of us, we carried our boxes and went to the hostel.
I was there on the first day when we had our meals. I think we ate a core and moi or so. I wasn't too sure. We had just two people then. We had our principal, Mr. Olatunde Balogun, late now. And he was the principal of Government College Ikorodu. And we had Mr. Adedeji as the principal of Government College K2. The two schools were placed together, and we were living together in the same hostel, but we had our classes differently. It was a very memorable day. The first day was very funny and memorable too. I could remember by the time after meals we were to go to bed. We went to bed as young boys that we were then. We were not able to sleep. We were just making so much noise. Eventually we started to have battles. Room 1, we go and fight. Room 2, the first night. And I was in room 8 then. And then we will marshal ourselves together, the boys. We go to room 3. In room 3 too, there was one corridor joining us together. Then we will meet there, box ourselves and make a lot of noise. We were not sleeping. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. When the principals saw that we weren't sleeping, they came. I could still remember the first night. Mr. Olatunde Balogun slept at the corridor of our rooms because it was not until we find that the principals were at the corridor. That was the time we were able to rest and we were able to sleep. I think we slept around deep in the night, 3 a.m. in the night. And I could remember we were with the Tude Soaries, Olumide Aluko, Wasiu Eti, Wasiu Okwe, and some of the Government College K2, Patrick Ogwanama, if I'm right. There is a Charles Nwogu. I think Charles Nwogu is late now. And we had a few others that I could still remember their face, but I couldn't remember their names. It was very good fun.
But when we now got to second year, we had to move to our permanent site. By that time, some structures had been completed. We were put together because the structures were not yet ready.
The facilities were not completely built when we moved into the permanent site. We had to make use of the classrooms as hostels. Fortunately, that's the permanent site, there was only 2 classes, Forms 1 and Form 2. So the classes meant for 3 to 5 were used as hostels. It was also bushy, no development, and the students had to do a human job doing the cutting of the bushes and all that. So during the early days it was underdeveloped, and like I said, the temporary site Then we moved into the permanent site in 1975.
In our early school days, our school faced some minor challenges as with everything new. One of the biggest hurdles for me at the time was the lack of water on campus at some point in time.
There was no water. There was no water, and one of our most memorable experience was how we had to go and get water. We had to go inside the bush, which is a brook. And in fact, it was our feet that actually paved the path from the school to the brook. And we had to do that every time we needed water. In fact, I remember even for drinking, sometimes we had to make do with that brook water.
This bush path stood out for me like forest. You have to remember this was a tiny 10-year-old girl who had lived in the city all her life. And so my imagination would usually run very wild, and I would expect a wild animal to jump out of the bush and gobble me up at any point in time. Of course, it never happened. With hindsight, I put it down to probably having read too much of Little Red Riding Hood fable.
So there was no water facility as at that time, and like I said, the structures were uncompleted. They were there but not yet completed. And of course, I remember that the classrooms now then was even used as the first dining hall. So the dining hall was not completed. The hostels especially were not completed. That's why we had to make do with the classrooms, which were not being used from classes 3 to 5. I think it was in our third year that we had to move into the present permanent hostel, and things started improving by the year.
My own challenge was waking up early to bath cold water. I was not used to waking very, very early to start bathing cold water. So it was a challenge to most of us. So you see, some of us will just do rub and shine, and wear our clothes and go to school.
Personally, the greatest challenge for me and many others is that we were leaving our parents for the first time. We were young. I think I was 11 years old then. And you can imagine some of us were as young as 9. We were between 9 and 12 years. We were leaving our parents for the first time, and it wasn't easy adapting. Most of us were what you call then, I think they still call them Ajebota, living in Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and all those higher, and now sleeping on double bunk. So then I remember very memorable the fact that I was seeing live snakes for the first time. Snakes, monkeys, scorpions. I was seeing them very close to me. In fact, we had even situations whereby snakes enter into our hostels and coil around our bunk. But we thank the Almighty God that there was absolutely no casualty. In fact, our late principal was up to the task. I heard the story that he had an antidote for snake bite. I've never experienced it, but I was told by my friends, fellow students. So those are the personal challenges, these greatest challenges that I personally faced, and most of us personally faced. We are living in Apellion for the first time. We are living in a new habitat, raw local habitat for the first time. And the improvisation, we had to make do with it. And that is what is helping us today, making us to be very independent people anywhere we find ourselves.
Well, despite all these hiccups, I'll call them hiccups, my experience as a pioneer student of Government College Ikorodu was a very positive one.
At the helm of this pioneering endeavor was Mr. Olatunde Balogun, the school's visionary principal, a father figure, and a disciplinarian. Mr. Balogun's firm, bold, and courageous leadership had a profound impact on the school community at large. His commitment to academic excellence and character development shaped the institution's identity.
Mr. Olatunde Balogun, my late spouse, my school boss, and the pioneer principal of Government College Ikorodu, was a very proactive man with ideas. To his students everywhere, not only in Government College Ikorodu, he was a principal who had the passion and zeal for excellence. He encouraged hard work, neatness, punctuality, and leadership by example. He was a disciplinarian. His students will be better at expressing his impact on them as an educator. I say this because those that I have come across express the fact that they were happy that under him they passed through the school and the school passed through them. He, on his part, always expressed his excitement whenever he came across some of them. He would notice and feel very impressed about their excellent progress in life. I know that if he were alive today, this event would gladden his heart.
The pioneer principal of Government College Ikorodu, Mr. Olatunde Balogun, was a great man. He had a lot of impression of us. He was our father, our mentor, and our leader. He had this voice that when he speaks, you don't have to listen or pretend you did not hear him, because he has this loud voice. He will call you Priscilla. Anywhere you are in the compound, you must hear your name.
I will describe the pioneer principal of GCI, late Mr. Olatunde Balogun, first of all, physically as a tall, handsome man with a basal voice, so that you will like him when you hear the voice.
He was a fashionist then. He wore the latest suits. You see him in good suits. His shoes are to match. Very well dressed, superb. And he kept a fairly bushy hair, well kept but well barbed. And he had this pipe. He was a piper. I would be pulling his pipe. I think I would describe him as one of the big boys of Ijebu-Igbo. He was an indigene of Ijebu-Igbo. He was one of the big boys of Ijebu-Igbo. And he was riding the best car then, a Mercedes-Benz 200. He was riding a Mercedes-Benz 200, and Mr. Adedeji too was riding a Mercedes-Benz 200, the same color.
He was fearless. I think he built a house in Ijebu-Igbo, and he has written on the house the nickname of Kiniu Onibudo. You know, Kiniu means lion, and his voice sounded like a lion. He roars, very bizarre voice, and he was fearless. So I wasn't surprised. I understand when they call him Kiniu Onibudo. He roams about the school compound, knowing that we were very young, leaving our parents for the first time. He used to roam around the school compound late in the midnight, together with the local hunters, to make sure that everything was okay, and to make sure that we are not scared of anything, and also to make sure that we lack nothing. So I have that memory of him being a fearless person, and also covering us like a father figure.
Mr. Tunde Balogun was a leader par excellence. He inspired in the assembly hall. He gave pep talks to the students. What the society is expecting of them. How they are expected to behave even outside the academics. He gave the students freedom to come to his office, to lay any complaint, either against the teacher or whatever is happening in the school there. We had no strike throughout about food not good, bad food in the hostel or whatever. There were no strikes. He was on top of his job in the school there. I personally, like I said, I like him.
When you talk of principals, Mr. Olatunde Balogun stood out. I can describe him as principals of principals. My dad was a principal too, but I can tell you frantically, he was on a higher pedestal than my dad. Our school stood out. I told you that Government College was a prototype of an ideal school that Lagos State was trying to showcase for all other schools. So he was picked. For him to be picked as a principal, he must have been a principal of principals. So definitely Olatunde Balogun was an exemplary person who was completely in charge of his environment, and he was the one who was very firm, who could control both teachers and students to steer them towards a specific and desired goals. Talk of the district, education districts that existed at that time. We were just only aware of their existence. I doubt if they hardly stepped their foot into our schools then, because we were the special children and we had a lot of our students from abroad and who were still speaking the Queen's English. Jide Ogundimu, I will mention him, specifically was there with us from the first day. He was unable to pronounce the letter R well. Emma Wawi, Emma Wawi, Emma Win, Emma Wawi, Emma Wawi, Emma Win. And we gave him nicknames of Ifeoma, we call him a lot of very funny names, and then he will go mad and scatter chairs, and then we walk briskly to Balu's office to go and report. And once you know your case gets to Balu, you are finished. You are done with. So those were the days. So I knew him to be a man who was in firm control of his environment.
He was a disciplinarian, authoritative, assertive, and of course he wanted the best for us.
Any rascality from anybody, be it boys or be it girls, he was equal to the task. His office in the admin block faces the road out of our hostel. So when we are coming in the morning, he's always early to his office. He will stand in front of at the window and be watching. Those that will work, like I said, you are not working, he will ask you to fasten up or you go back and start afresh. The boys that are not well dressed, with not talking well, not do your collar well, he will call you by name. He knew all of us by name. He will call us by name and tell you what to do right. He cared for us because any complaint from any student, he takes it up.
He was a professional teacher. He majors in mathematics. He organized special classes for us in mathematics. Before the assembly, very early in the morning, you have to be in a class in which he personally taught us mathematics, especially the difficult ones, most especially towards our WAEC. You know, we were the first set that wrote WAEC there. So we excelled a bit in mathematics because of that. And secondly, the writing culture, the reading culture. I remember at the time, he gave us an assignment that for every week you must read a novel and summarize it in an exercise book, and then bring it to his office personally. He will sign that, yes, this is the novel you have read, and you have to look for. We had the library. You go there, collect another novel or storybook, read it for that week, summarize it in writing, take it again to his office. He will sign, and with that, the reading and writing culture was so high in us. So we are very grateful for that. I will never forget him for that.
We call him Baba Balu at that time. And he was a sharp person. Needs to deal with something, we deal with it firmly, and is not going to drag about it. I was suspended from the school, interestingly, because I wasn't too gentle anyway. So I fell into his traps, and knowing that my father too was a school principal, then he would say, "Iwo, mumo babe, iwo lo tun se le, ma ran e lole." I was and then I remember he had to suspend me. Said, "I know to ba dele wa ti daddy e mo pe o ma be fa wahala." So he was a disciplinarian, and he gave us a fatherly training, because when we were getting towards our examination, our final year, he started to give us some advice that resembles more of a father. He will call us alone Sunday morning. I could remember one Sunday morning, maybe he was to go out, or it's Saturday, because he was wearing his party agbada at that time, white. He called us into the school hall and started to advise us about life. The pros and brains that don't work together. I learned that phrase from Mr. Olatunde Balogun. He was like an icon to me, and there was absolutely no way I would have ever forgotten who he was. I still have his image strong in my memory, and if I have had any other opportunity to meet him, I would have been able to say, "Oh, this is Baba Balo," and we were very happy with him.
He loved us and we loved him. He was our father figure. We called him Bam Badu, Bami Badu. And they tell Bam Badu is watching. Bam Badu, you see, all of us we sit up. So he taught us. He had a lot of influence at our young age. 10 to 14. Some were 10, some were 12, but mostly 12. Some were 14. He had a great influence on us, and we cherish him. We cherished him very well.
We were not having any problem. The principal was very good, very cooperative. All the students liked him. Also the teachers too. It's not the nagging type. He wouldn't bother you as long as you do your job. The students too. They were very understanding. They were not, unlike these days, they were so obedient. Though we maintain high standard of discipline, no doubt. They go to prep when they are supposed to do it. They go for their games when they are supposed to go for their games. Even though teachers may not be available, but they still do all these things on their own. So we had a crop of very good students. So it made the work of the teachers very simple. So, and that is why they are still remembering those of us that are still alive today. We put little effort with some supervision, and it yielded because the students were good.
The principal voluntarily retired from public teaching service in August 1979. He had wanted to do that a little earlier, but decided to wait and see the pioneer set members sit for their WAEC school certificate examination in May, June of that year before leaving. He handed over to Mrs. Esther Akintoye, who had been his vice principal.
The first batch of students to attend Government College Ikorodu were pioneers in every sense. Their experiences, filled with both challenges and triumphs, laid the foundation for the school's legacy.
Some of the school's most cherished traditions. One tradition that stood out for me was the social nights. I can't readily remember now if these were a weekly event or a monthly event. But these gatherings gave us the chance to bond outside of the classroom, enjoy music, dancing, and general friendship. It was a time to unwind after the rigorous academic schedule and strict discipline.
Talking of the traditions, that I strongly feel that the college has, apart from impacting in us, is trickling down. One, I mentioned our principal. He was a socialite. And I think that really rubbed off on us, on many of us. You'll find that more than half of us we traveled abroad after some immediately after the WAEC exam, and they just traveled abroad. So, and if despite the fact that we are so much apart, we are still able to find our path together, because we will still keep one or two dots of friendship together. That's highly commendable of us. And I could remember then too, apart from the school tea, we were organizing ourselves into clubs. Unlike the nowadays students who will organize themselves into cultism, we were organizing. We had Newcastle. My club then was Newcastle Football. Manchester United. We had clubs not named after the English Premier clubs. So we just come together, we name ourselves. We are the so. So we were organizing league, not the school this time. No school, maybe sports master organizing us. I could remember the Gustav Lawsons, the Kemal Williams, and a few others who Tubosun, Aisha Kalaye, and they come together. Then you register your club. Once you register your club, we were playing league together, and I think that improved our bond as well too, and we were able to detect our talents more easily, which many of us were able to live. And I think one of us, even maybe Augustina Rubusi, I'm not sure, was one of the Miss Nigeria or contested at the top level towards that.
The memories of Government College Ikorodu that I hold so dear today, I will say two major ones. One was the social night. We used to have social night every Saturdays, and our principal was so wonderful. He said, all works and no play make Jack a dull boy. After all the discipline, after all the strictness, after all the studying, we all converge at the assembly hall and mingle even with the teachers for that social night.
On Saturdays, you are required to prepare drama, form yourself into a drama group, and then you go act your drama, sing a song, perform some talents that you have. That gave us a room, an avenue for us to express ourselves and to be able to face the audience, because to stand on stage, the stage fright, you'll be able to overcome that as well too. And because once or twice I acted some few dramas.
Cultural display, poem recitation, and so on and so forth. I hold that memory very dear. And also, there are certain things we do in the hostels. most especially, you know, when students are just coming in from holidays, they are rich with provisions. But towards the end, the first thing that we finish, the first provision that we finish is gari. So we now go about with our team and be drumming and asking for who has gari. We'll be singing sugar one le, gari one le wa, sugar one le, and that is, if you have sugar, I have sugar, if you have gari, bring it. And then in those days, those rich children of rich parents, whenever their own gari will always be there, and they always have visitors like their drivers or mates. So whenever they want to smoke their gari and they want to throw away the water, we will beg them for the water, because even drinking the gari water is more or less like satisfied that you have done gari. So that is the social night and our social gatherings within the hostels, especially towards our vacation. I hold that very dearly.
You see, our school, the location of the school was on the road. There was no Lagos Ibadan Express at that time. So before you go to Ibadan, you will pass through Ikorodu, and from Ikorodu, I think maybe to Shagam, and then Shagam you go to Ibadan. So the road in front of our school then was always a major travel route. But there was one hill immediately after our school. If you are going towards Ikorodu, the hill has been a lot reduced now due to the engineering prowess nowadays. They've been able to cut off a lot of those hilly places. So you find trailers, after carrying their goods, tankers, unable to climb that route. So usually you have tankers, trailers breaking down, creating a lot of traffic. And the traffic, people who maybe you are going to Ijebu to go and do marriage ceremony, they may get to Ijebu the following day. So some of the party food that they are carrying, I could remember one time they called us, we rushed there. They were scooping rice for us with big meat. We ate, because instead of the food wasting, they just felt the party has already ended and we are still on the road here. What are we going to do with the food when we get there? So, and they find that we are opposite a school. So one woman just came, more school, take down the party. We eat the food at that time, and we never even cared whether it was poisoned or it has already juju or whatever in it. We don't even care then. We will eat and feel free. We will even take our plate and keep some for the following day to go and eat, so that you can have some things to eat at night. So those were memorable events. I remember that we were taught one song that Taisholari taught us. I mean, not Taisholari, it was Olatunde Balogun that taught us that song, the Bantu National Anthem. That was what we had as our anthem then. Oh Lord, bless our native Africa. Oh Lord, bless our native Africa. Lord, may she arise and prosper now. Oh Lord, may he be there, blah, blah, blah. I can't get that aspect right.
Oh Lord, bless our native Africa. Oh Lord, bless our native Africa. Lord, may she arise and prosper now. Oh Lord, we beseech thee here. Oh Lord, we beseech thee here.
Spirit of God, Spirit of God, Spirit of God,
come to us now and bless us. Oh Lord, we beseech thee here.
I can never forget that song, the Bantu National Anthem. It just stopped there. And I'm thinking that even till my old age, I will still be remembering. I forget a lot of things, but I find it hard to forget that.
We learned that song 50 years ago during one of our social nights, which I said Tai Sholani once attended, and we will never forget it until later the school anthem came. But that was our own school anthem in those days, and I will never forget.
Over the years, Government College Ikorodu has achieved numerous milestones in academics, sports, and overall growth. The school's commitment to excellence has produced outstanding students who have gone on to make remarkable contributions to the society.
The significant milestones achieved by the school over the years is mainly in educational level. In most cases, the school produced the best students in WAEC. We were not only in the school educationally, we were also going outside for quiz competitions, literary and debating society, and things like that. So we excelled.
We had the Ikorodu axis comprising of Imota, Agbowa Ekusi, even some part of K2, that is my 12, K2 my 12, I'm referring to now. Our school stood out in debate, literary and debating. We won the Lagos State Literary and Debating contest, I think about twice. Afolabi Adedeji then was the one representing us, and we were defeating federal government colleges like water. And I thought we met with Queen's College at the final, and it was a very big contest. We did battle with Queen's College, and we won. And then at that time we were the hard boys. The Queen's College were the butties. So they were crying. We went with shekere and drums, already drumming around the school and dancing.
Educationally, we excelled. Sports-wise, we also excelled. The late principal, pioneer principal, our late Olade Balogun, had to do a lot in order to procure sports facilities for us, like football boots, like table tennis, the table. I remember I got to know that I was good in badminton through they're giving us that opportunity, and of course basketball. So we excelled then, and over the year, the school have won the Principal Cup once in Lagos State, as well as being either in the final or the third place in Principal Cup. The phrase is only the best.
The alumni of Government College Ikorodu have played a vital role in the school's development. Through their contributions, the alumni have supported various initiatives, from academic scholarships to infrastructure improvements.
In terms of the notable achievement of the school alumni over the years, We thank the Lord that we have had some of our alumni students attaining positions, very high positions in the society, in government, and even for themselves. We have high-ranking police officers, high-ranking military officers, lawyers, we have SANs, SANs, and we produce commissioners for states, especially in Lagos State, as well as other states. So we have done very good as an alumni, and impacting all these things in ourselves, not leaving any stone unturned between ourselves. We have been able to invest in ourselves. Now, we hold very dearly two major factors as an alumni. One is making sure that we reunite, and secondly, to impact on the school, on our alma mater. And we have been doing very well concerning that.
I would say the school's alumni have been pretty active in contributing to the success and upliftment of the school. Some of the past notable achievements and contribution of the school's alumni to the school's development are provision of modern furniture, both tables and chairs, to the classrooms, annual scholarships to indigent and notable outstanding students in both junior and senior schools, renovation and refurbishment of the school clinic in 2022, provision of solar streetlights between the classroom blocks and the hostels, that was in 2023, donation of books to the school library in 2022, building of the entire junior school laboratory in 2022. That project had cost 12 million, and the Pioneer Set had made the largest contribution of 2.5 million to the fund. There was also the renovation and refurbishment of the senior school laboratory in 2021. This was undertaken entirely by the Pioneer Set. In addition to these, there are legacy projects of the alumni towards the commemoration of the school's 50th anniversary. The general alumni body will be renovating the school dining hall at an estimated cost of 30 million naira. Of these amounts, the Pioneers have been the highest donor, giving the sum of 3.5 million in the significant and creative amount of 350,1974.79 to reflect our school year. For additional legacy project, the Pioneer Set on its own will be renovating the school assembly hall. This is to be our 50th Founders Day landmark project. The project is estimated to cost about 60 million naira.
Presently, the school community, the school is not having a habitable school hall. The hall is in a state of disrepair presently. So you can imagine where they meet, probably on the lawn, on the school lawn, outside in the open, and probably the teacher and the principal to address them will be somewhere on the staircase addressing the students. We were not trained that way. So if we are not trained that way, we could have reasons to say that we should be able to try to return the school back to how it used to be. So our mission is to put ourselves together to see to it that we contribute some money and we are able to renovate the school hall, put with a big screen in front of it, do some landscaping around the school hall for car parks, so that by the time we will be finished with it, the school hall will be a center of excellence. And to that effect, we have approached a quantity surveyor that has given us a bill of quantities of about 60 million naira. But that was done in last year. So we are expecting it to be nothing less than 100 million now. And our dinner that we are, this dinner that we are holding is part of the major goal of it is to raise some substantial amount for this project. Whatever be the amount that we are going to raise, we are still going to go back to tax ourselves more. We are sure that definitely we are going to be able to carry this out, and by that we are going to stamp our name in stone and carve it in stone as the pioneer state. If we are able to carry it out, it's going to be a very good achievement which we'll be able to point to as pioneer set. I could remember during our days, I sat for my WAEC exam in that school hall. But now, where do they sit for? Because all the WAEC students from 5 then, they will usually sit in the same hall to write the exam. But I can imagine now they will be staying in different classrooms to have the exam. The implication of having the exam in one hall is many. One, the invigilation will be simpler, and it will give a better control of the students. I'm going to take this medium to appeal to our members, that is the pioneer students and those that we have invited here today to be generous enough to give us good donations so that we'll be able to execute the project, and the impact of the 1979 GCI pioneer students will be felt within the college. Thank you.
As Government College Ikorodu celebrates its 50th anniversary, it stands as a testament to the enduring spirit of education and the power of community. The school's legacy, shaped by the dedication of its students, teachers, and alumni, continues to inspire future generations.
I would say the school has had a profound impact on the life of its students, shaping not only our personal paths, but also our professional values. For me, the experience of being part of the pioneer set instilled in me resilience and adaptability. Facing the early challenges and adjusting to a new environment taught me perseverance. The discipline and high standards set by the principal and our teachers molded my work ethics and sense of responsibility. The camaraderie and strong bonds I formed with my peers have lasted a lifetime, I'm glad to say. And the values of integrity, leadership, and community have guided me throughout my personal and professional journey.
So personally, passing through the school have helped me a lot in being independent, being courageous, being bold, and being confident of myself anywhere I go. If you say you study in England, I am sure that I can beat you to whatever you want to compete on. So that is the main impact the school have had and the effect the school have, Government College Ikorodu have had on me.
The school has instilled a lot of discipline in me, and which I'm even passing down my children. I could see a lot of the reflection of GCI. I could see an attitude of our principal reflecting out of me several times. Sometimes I talk and I tell myself, you are talking like Balu, and that tells you what it has been created and what has happened. And I can see that happen in many of our mates as well too. We are quite strong, we are quite doing well, we are quite doing good in the society. Yes, we have not been able to, probably been privileged enough to produce a governor or a president like the Igbobians, the King's College. Those ones, they were more privileged than us. Yes, they were more pampered. They had federal might all around them. So those were just the edge they had around us. And yet we were winning them in quiz contests, we were defeating them in football matches and all the lot. Yes, so I can say that we are far, far, far better. Given the leverage they had, we would have conquered Nigeria, hands down, today. That I can tell you confidently. We have brigadiers in the army who are who are students, professors, students, and doctors, numerous doctors. That they are there, female, male, and a lot of successful magnates, business magnates around Lagos, and we have others scattered around Europe, Canada, and the Americas, all over.
All said, if I were to describe my experience of Government College Ikorodu in one word, that word would be transformative.
If I'm to describe my experience in GCI in one word, the word is nostalgic.
That one word, my experience will be transformative. It's a transformative experience.
I would say it's marvelous.
GCI, great GCI.